All right, you guys, today we're going to do something a little bit different. I was thinking to myself earlier about The Psychology of Money, the book Psychology of Money. It's a great book. I highly recommend everybody read it. But I was thinking to myself, what are one of the biggest reasons that so many people lose in the stock market and, lose when it comes to investing? And a lot of it is, yes, poor risk management. We all know that. Not truly understanding the company that you're investing in. We all know that. But a lot of it is how we see money. So what I want to talk about right now is, what do you think of when you see a dollar? When you see a dollar bill, what do you think of? Most of the time, you're probably not going to think of it as that big of a deal. It's just a dollar. At this point in your life, you probably can't even buy a cheeseburger with a dollar. But now I want you to think to yourself, what do you think of a $20 bill? When you look at 20 bucks, what do you think? To me, I see maybe two Chipotle bowls, maybe a coffee at Starbucks, and a sweet greens bowl. Usually the first thing for me comes to, for instance, maybe food, some sort of food. Now, what about $100? And stick with me, because we're going to go through some of these, and these are all important. But what about $100? When you look at $100, when you think of $100, what do you think about? Right? When most people look at $100, they probably think of potentially a cell phone bill, maybe a gym bill, potentially a good night out. You can go out with your friends, or maybe even go on a date with your girl. $100 is definitely not a lot of money, but it's certainly not a small amount. When I was younger, $100 was massive to me. Now, I want you to stick with me. What about 1,000? Of course, I don't have $1,000 cash. I don't just keep $1,000 cash. But what if I took $1,000 and I put $1,000 cash right in front of you? What comes to mind looking at $1,000? Truly visualize this. What comes to mind for $1,000? To some people, that might be your bills for the month. That might be your rent for the month. That might be a weekend getaway with somebody that you care about. $1,000 to me still is a good amount of money. $100 to me at this point, even if I had millions of dollars, is still something to not overlook. Let's start to bump it up. $5,000. What about $5,000? If I put $5,000 right in front of you and you looked at that $5,000, what would you think? Right? $5,000 is a lot of money. $5,000 could be a used car, right? A used car if you're somebody who's younger. It could be a trip with your family, a nice vacation with your family. It could be a down payment on a nicer car. It could even be potentially $5,000 could be 2 months of your income, right? Or 3 months of your income. One quarter worth of income. So how about $10,000? $10,000 in cash. What do you think about? And I want you guys to comment down below. Let me know what you think about when I bring these up, because I really want to know. $10,000 in cash. $10,000 honestly could be, life-changing to some people at this very point in their life. They could maybe pay off some of their debt. It could be a little bit of your student loan debt. It could be paying off a car. It could be potentially, 6 months worth of income for some people. Hopefully not, but it could be. It could be 3 months worth of income for some people. It could even be your way to quit your job and maybe start trading or starting investing. $10,000 could be your future retirement 40, 50 years from now. Now, 25,000, and this is the highest that we're going to go with, $25,000. What would $25,000 look to you if I put $25,000 in a briefcase and I dropped it on the table and I was like, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about $25,000. Now, that could be a year's worth of hard work for somebody, right? And if you're somebody who only makes $25,000 a year, I'm not putting you down. I'm not putting anybody down. I was there, right? But that could be an entire year of someone's life. $25,000 could be paying off some student debt for somebody and relieving a ton of stress. The amount of stress that you might have having $25,000 in debt over your head, you could relieve that stress entirely. $25,000 could be funding a trading account that can change your life in the future. $25,000 can be many of things. But now I want you to think about this. Let's just go back to the dollar, right? This $1 bill. We've gone over what we think about this, about what we think of money. What does this money think about you? Nothing. What does $20,000 think about you? Nothing. What does $100,000 think about you? Nothing. And that's how you have to look at money. You have to be indifferent to money. You have to be respectful of money, though. Anton Creel, he's a very, very successful trader. He talks about this a lot. But not only is this important in your life, but in your trading and your investing, because so many people are afraid to lose money. Let me turn this off. So many people are afraid to lose money. Not necessarily because they're afraid to actually lose it, because if you lose a piece of paper, it's nothing. It really isn't. What people are afraid to lose is the emotional and mental attachment of it, right? I remember when I lost $25,000 my first time in the stock market, I thought to myself, not that, oh, I lost some money. I thought to myself, like, I just lost time, right? I lost an entire year of my life busting my ass at a grocery store. I lost, potentially a business I could have formed. I lost more money that I had made or that I ever had actually at the time, just sitting in a bank account. I lost so much. And that's how a lot of people think when they see a loss of 700, 800, $900. They don't look at it as, okay, money's not my account. It's a lesson. I lost my rent. I lost XYZ. And you have to be indifferent to money. That's why when I make 5-6 grand in a week trading stocks, or 5-6 grand in a day sometimes trading stocks, I haven't had those days in a while, but still, I don't freak out. I'm never happy about it. I'm never, yeah, look how much I made. Like, so many people are like that. And I understand you're excited, you're happy, but I'm never like that. And when I lose money, I'm never like that either. I'm indifferent to it because it doesn't matter, right? If you got 50 grand today, it's really not going to change your life 60, 70 years from now. I mean, if you invest it correctly, of course, but if you lost 5 grand today, 10 grand today, it's not going to really affect how your life is 60, 70 years from now. That's why so many people are like, oh, you shouldn't have sold Tesla. You shouldn't have, you sold something too soon, or, like, it's just whatever. You have to be indifferent to money, but you also have to respect it. You also have to understand that, yes, this is just a piece of paper, but this piece of paper can also buy you freedom. And being indifferent to money, this is how rich people look at money. Right? If you look at somebody who's rich, you say, oh, if they lost 10 grand, if you have $100 million, if you lost $10,000, it's not that big of a deal. And it's true, right? But rich people are indifferent to money. And a lot of them are indifferent to money before they have money, right? If you look at a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of traders, they're indifferent to money before they make the money. I was indifferent to money before I made the money. Like I said, when I had never made more than $9 an hour at a normal job, and I took all the money that I had in my entire life and put it into a trading account, and I lost half of it. And then I continued to still build my craft and continue to trade. I was indifferent to that money. And if I wasn't indifferent to that money, I would have never taken the risk to trade. I would have never taken the risk to start a business. I would have never taken the risk to do any of the things that I've done in my life. But you have to be indifferent to money before you become rich. That is how rich people treat money. If you live a life full of scarcity, not only with money, but with everything else in your life, you're not going to live a happy life. You have to live a life of abundance. You have to literally be indifferent to money, but still respect it. And we'll talk more about respect later on, guys. So basically, this is kind of shooting from the hip. I just want to talk about this because I see so many people who comment and message me. And I love to hear from you guys who are like, I'm down blank, 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 or I'm losing blank, 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 or I'm afraid to take this, risk, or whatever it is. Like, take the risk, understand whatever it is that you're indifferent to money. And at the end of the day, it's not going to buy you happiness. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to give you a means to have financial freedom, which will eventually buy you time. So guys, let me know what you think. Comment down below if you want me to do more videos like this. Let me know. Like I said, I was just shooting from the hip because I was really thinking to myself how much of a detachment I have to money. And I even had a detachment to money before I had money. But not a lot of people have that. So let me know what you think, guys. Have a good day. Peace.